Hi, I'm Simone from Our Year in Bali, your Bali relocation agents, and we help families from around the world choose Bali as their home. So the number one question is schools and choosing the right school. I am super excited because I'm here at the Green School and I'm going to have a great conversation with Pana, who's head of the lower school here at the Green School. So thanks, Pana, for joining us.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you. So I'd like to start, first of all, by setting the scene and understanding the age group that you look after and a little bit more about what to expect at the Green School in this age.
Wonderful. So the lower school goes from geckos, which is actually pre-K, and that's 3-year-olds.
Cute.
So they're 3 turning 4, and then we go all the way up to 5th grade, which is 10-year-olds turning 11.
Great.
Yeah, so that's the age bracket. And then if you come here, I think you can expect a lot of nature, a lot of hands-on learning,
Yeah.
and also applied learning. And so not just hands-on, but really thinking about the things you would typically learn in school.
Okay.
And we want kids to apply that right away. We are seeking the ability to have children bring that learning into reality and make it meaningful.
Great.
Yeah.
So what does a typical day look like? I know that
gosh.
would be really hard to say.
Yeah.
Maybe we start with the geckos. What does a day look like for them?
You know, I mean, we have a typical timetable.
Yeah.
It's not too far off. We're not completely open. They will start with a morning circle. They will have a set of planned activities by the teachers. With our youngest ones, choice is huge. So there's never one thing going on. And the child can lead as much as possible within a framework so that we make sure that the kids are learning the things that we want them to learn as well. You know, there are the basic things that we do make sure all the kids are learning, your literacy, your math. And then, of course, we have this, what's special is the regenerative design. And that happens all the way through the school, not just in the lower school. And this piece of it is what most families and schools would see as transdisciplinary learning. And so the difference here is that when we dive into this regenerative design thinking, we are trying to get the students not just to connect with the world, but understand themselves as part of a bigger community system and ecosystem, really.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so when you mention community, how would you describe your community here, the students and the parents, and perhaps beyond the school as well?
Okay, more than any place that I have ever been in a school setting, this is probably the most diverse environment. And I say this with both pros and cons because you come here and you are immediately faced with people who are from different backgrounds, different countries, different beliefs and value systems. And it is this beautiful space where you are able to see a true reflection of the world and what you will face once our kids go out into the world. So if you want your kids to learn perspective taking, to listen to other people, to collaborate in meaningful ways, the setup here naturally lends itself to that. That is true to the world.
Fabulous. And so what are some of those, the upper years, what are some of those fun sort of projects or subjects that they can enjoy?
Okay, so in the upper years, I would say there's a couple of things. I'm going to go back to the regenerative design because that piece of it really is at the root of our educational philosophy here. And what that looks like is that in a transdisciplinary unit, students would look at a topic, a theme, like any other school, except they would go through a process that helped them to not only understand and perhaps shape solutions for, but also to advocate and to communicate and storytell to other people, places in the real world so that they are sharing their own thinking, whether it was a success or a failure. And so that for us is really important, that you share your process regardless of the outcome. The other piece of our program is that we have Jalans, which is the very much experiential learning, which happens again all the way from, this is grade 1, all the way up through the high school. The difference for the lower school is that they still remain on campus for safety reasons, but we utilize the talent here to give them opportunities on campus to learn things that they wouldn't normally in a typical classroom. Like we have very talented teachers. You can learn anything from like a professional Balinese dancer to, with our science teacher doing real biomimicry with the kids. And so these are things that are away from the curriculum, but true experiences. And so there's that program too.
Wow,
Yeah.
I'm super excited to hear this. So if I was a parent coming here for a couple of years in your lower years, so if I was to move back home, what does that transition look like? And will my child perhaps be behind in their studies? Would they be ahead in their studies? It's a world education, and Green School is so special, and what you're describing is extremely important. So I'm sure that's something that you would be able to address too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that this is a question we get a lot.
Of course.
From a lot of families, because all they want is success for their children.
Of course.
In their school education. I'm not going to lie, there's always a transition.
Of course.
There is always a transition, and it's never going to be a smooth one, because what we do here is unique, and we're not trying to be like other schools.
Yeah.
So what they will face is the transition into culture of school, is what I would say is the biggest one. What is the school culture, and what are the systems that run there that are very different from ours? I think that when it comes to academics, we try and keep up like the rest of them.
Of course, yeah.
So I wouldn't worry about that. I think the difference is how we assess for learning, how we look for learning, and what that looks like in each school. So it's more about not the what, the kids will have that, but the how.
Yeah. And so you did mention the assessment. So how does a child know that they're going well in your years? And is there reporting? What does that look like?
We have reporting like every other school. The difference is we center it around the students' individual growth. We're not comparing them to a national standard. We're saying, here, we're marking you. This is where you started this year. And in the middle of the year, we're going to tell you how much growth you made. So, and we're not comparing you to the child next to you. We're not comparing you against, the nation's benchmarks.
Sure.
We are really just talking about individualized growth. And that can be uncomfortable for a lot of families. And so if you come here, you really have to understand we center the kid. If your child is not making the expected growth, we'll tell you. At the same time, let's honor where your child's at. Let's honor the way that they are making progress. And let's honor and trust that our teachers are professionals, and they will tell you if there is something of concern, and they will celebrate all the beautiful things as well in that reporting. Our assessments are very much performance-based, authentic. We use rubrics like every other school to assess, to make sure they're getting the knowledge and the skills that we would like to see out of that performance. But when we report, we really want families to celebrate their children in their own learning journey. And that's a shift in mindset as well.
Sure. And so finally, how would you like to see a child leave the Green School, maybe go up to the higher years?
Yeah.
What would you like to see that child achieve, and what type of child, what do they look like to you?
Confident. They are, and not just confident in that they can talk to lots of people, but they advocate for things that are meaningful to them. They advocate for themselves, and in ways that, they're comfortable with. It doesn't have to be like, I'm going to march around and say, like, stop using single-use plastics. Some of them do. But also, like, if you're not that outgoing child, you still know how to advocate in a meaningful way in a different platform. And that's really what you see. And I can speak from personal experience. My daughter, after 1 year, is already advocating for small needs in our community and asking the right adults how she can make a change. So it's happening.
Change makers for the future.
Yep, for sure.
Very exciting. Well, thank you so much for having this conversation. And I look forward to sharing more with our audience.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.